Well, it is exactly 9 p.m. Good evening and welcome to the bulletin tonight. Well, there has been a lot of changes taking place, especially in the political arena, with Martha Karua now saying with or without Odinga, he will still be in the opposition. We're all waiting to see if she will be moving up and down across the country with other Azimio la Umoja coalition leaders, that is Kalonzo Musyoka and Dino Malwa, now considering that Odinga is up and ready for the AUC chairperson position. Well, my name is Sammy Adika and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. Starting us off, NARC Kenya party leader Martha Karua has once again affirmed that her role within the opposition is not contingent on the presence of ODM party leader Raila Odinga. This follows the recent development where the ODM party leader is set to vie for the African Union Commission chairperson position, stirring up speculation about the future of the opposition in the country. Speaking today during a press conference at the NARC Kenya party offices right here in Nairobi, Martha Karua reiterated that her commitment to the opposition is driven by her principles and not by alignment or rivalry with other political leaders. Our reporter Kennedy Kimani begins us off tonight.
Lest we forget.
As Kenya's political landscape continues to shift, the opposition is facing new challenges and opportunities. The recent development that the ODM party leader is set to vie for the African Union Commission chairperson seat has stirred up speculation about the future of the opposition in the country. If successful, Odinga's departure from the local political scene could create a power vacuum within ODM party, raising questions about who will step up to lead the party and the broader opposition movement.
Who is helping us with the press you can take?
With NARC Kenya's exit from the Azimio coalition, NARC Kenya party leader Martha Karua has affirmed that her role within the opposition is not contingent on the presence of the ODM party leader Raila Odinga.
Whether or not our brother Raila goes to the AU, and we wish him well, that he gets the job, the position doesn't change. He remains here, we still remain a voice. He goes, we still play our role. So our being in the opposition is not predicated on the presence or absence of our brother. It is a duty we take up seriously.
This declaration comes amidst ongoing political realignments and discussions within the opposition as various leaders position themselves ahead of the upcoming 2027 elections.
We do not need any title, and we've always tried to be good citizens who take up their civil responsibility in this country. This party will continue to stand up for what is right. We are not a party in government, we are opposition, and we are used to being on the opposition trenches for the longest. So you can expect that we will continue to do so, and our colleagues who wish to do so, we will collaborate with them. But I speak on behalf of NARC Kenya and from NARC Kenya, and this is our promise to Kenyans.
With the ODM leader's potential exit from the national political arena and the party's increasing engagement with the government, there is growing uncertainty about the opposition's direction. Will ODM continue to play a robust role in holding the government accountable, or will it gradually align more closely with the administration?
So let us not relent in demanding the full restoration of the guarantees of the human rights and civil liberties enshrined in our constitution for every single Kenyan. Lest we forget, eternal vigilance is the price of freedom. So we have to do this all the time. And we promise as a party and as people, we will continue standing up for what is right.
As these dynamics continue to evolve, Kenyans will be closely watching how the opposition adapts to these changes and what this means for the future of the country's political balance. NARC Kenya party leader Martha Karua has affirmed that her position in the opposition is not predicated by the presence of ODM party leader Raila Odinga, promising to do what is right. Kennedy Kimani, Hope TV Newswatch at the NARC Kenya offices, Nairobi.
Well, many thanks, Kennedy Kimani, for the report. Now, government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura has refuted claims that the President William Ruto has been launching projects that had been initiated by the previous regime. Mwaura explained that the president has the mandate to inspect and launch previous commissioned projects to ensure they achieve functionality. Now, this was as he gave the weekly government report regarding the arising issue, such as the looming teacher strike, the mpox outbreak, and ongoing government projects.
Amid claims that President William Ruto has been flagging off projects that were initiated by the previous government regime, the government spokesperson has clarified the matter. Isaac Mwaura explained that among the core mandates of the president as the head of state and government is the recommissioning of previously commissioned projects that had stalled, the inspection of already commissioned projects, and the launching of the completed projects to ensure they are functional and beneficial to Kenyans. He added that Kenyans should accord the broad-based government's time to work and deliver.
Kwa hivyo wale ambao pengine wanazunguka huku wakisema mradi ukianzishwa unaanza, haujaendelea, ndo mwanzo. Ni kusema kwamba tayari mikakati ipo, ni kama kugurumisha gari. Kukagua ni kumaanisha kwamba mradi upo, aidha pengine ulikuwa umesitishwa, pengine.
Speaking at the KICC in a weekly report on behalf of the government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura also touched on the looming teacher strike. He advised them to continue giving talks with the government a chance, since going on strike will not be beneficial to either party, but will only negatively impact the students and the parents.
Vyama vya wafanyikazi ama vya walimu vinasema kwamba bado hawajasikizana. Tutaendelea kuzungumzana na wao kupitia Wizara ya Elimu, kupitia Wizara ya Leba na hata Wizara ya Fedha. Kwa hilo ni jambo na tunatoa kauli mbiu kwamba tuendelee kuzungumzia, kwa sababu haitomfaidi mtu yoyote ikiwa kwamba shule zetu zitafungwa na masomo yaweze kuzoroteka, kwa sababu unajua kwamba mambo kama haya.
In acknowledging the rise of fees for higher learning institutions, Isaac Mwaura announced the opening of the reapplication period for all students of higher learning who had previously been denied government funding or had been placed in the wrong financing bracket. He added that the government was ready to ensure all students access education accordingly.
Na kumekuwa na pengine wengine ambao wanauliza maswali, kwa nini nimewepo hapa katika kitengo cha kwanza mpaka cha 5, kwa nini nimeingia cha 4 na cha 5? Lakini ieleweke kwamba bado kuna mwanya wa mtu yoyote ambaye anahisi kwamba hakuweza kusajiliwa kwa kitengo ambacho kinachomfaa kutokana na kipato cha familia yake.
Isaac Mwaura also confirmed that the mpox disease was still under control in the country and that there is no cause for alarm.
Lakini Wizara ya Afya inaendelea kuhakikisha kwamba hili jambo limeweza kushughulikiwa, na kama kuna mtu yoyote ambaye anakisiwa ana ugonjwa ule, basi tunasema aweze kushughulikiwa vizuri ili tusiwe na hili jambo ambalo linaweza kuleta shida katikati mwa Wakenya.
In highlighting the opportunities created for the youth by the government, Isaac Mwaura spoke on the directive issued by President William Ruto on the 5th of July asking all workers in the public service who are above the age of 60 to retire. This move is expected to create over 46,000 job opportunities in the public service for Kenyans.
Nafasi ambazo ukijumuisha wale ambao wako katika mfumo wa permanent and pensionable na wale ambao wako katika kandarasi, kuna nafasi zaidi ya 46,000 ambazo zitakuwa zipo wazi kuhakikisha kwamba Wakenya vijana wameweza kufaidika kutokana na kwamba sasa kuna...
For Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Ian Gethuku.
Ataweza kupata vipi kwamba...
Well, many thanks Ian Gethuku for the report. Now, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, is calling on the public to help aid the arrest of Kware suspect serial killer Collins Jumaisi. In a public circular, the DCI has offered cash reward to anyone who can provide information that leads to the arrest of Jumaisi, who escaped custody on Tuesday. Jumaisi, along with the 12 other Eritrean citizens on Tuesday, August 20th, escaped from the Gigiri police station in Nairobi, where they were being detained. The Eritreans had been arrested after entering the country illegally, while Jumaisi was arrested after detectives implicated him in the murder of 42 women, some of whose bodies were retrieved from Kware dam site in Nairobi. Earlier in the day, Principal Magistrate Martha Nanzushi had ruled that the 5 police officers arrested in connection with the escape of the 13 from custody in Gigiri Police Station be admitted on a personal bond of 200,000 and ordered to appear before the investigative officer at least twice a week.
And are suspected to have aided the escape of 13 remandees who are in custody for various offenses. And I'll ask the court to take judicial notice that among the escapees is one Collins Dumaisi,
Well, away from that now on matters climate, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga has asked countries in the West to honor the $100 billion a year financial pledge made by them in 2009 to developing countries to aid in mitigating the effects of climate change. Speaking while opening the meeting of the African Green Climate Finances National Designated Authorities Network and Building Climate Resilience of the Urban Poor in Nairobi, Odinga noted that access to climate finance remains one of the biggest challenges African countries face in responding to climate change. Odinga, who is also seeking the African Union Commission chairperson position, further stated that it is time for Africa to chart its way forward and make development a priority.
As you know, I was in COP15 in Copenhagen. I was in COP16 in Cancun, in Mexico. I was in Maputo. I was in Paris. Two years ago, I was in Sharm el-Sheikh. From COP15, from Copenhagen to Sharm el-Sheikh, it was the same language. Year in, year out. You got all the time going there to whine, to cry. This is why I was saying that we sound like a stuck gramophone record. The more the things change, the more they remain the same. The continent continues to face some areas of challenges associated with adverse climate change effects. Consequently, the vulnerable segments of our population, particularly the poor in both rural and urban communities, continue to bear the brunt of climate change. You know, as already been said here, that Africa is a victim, not the offender in this exercise. Africa's emissions is negligible compared to what we are going through globally. Yet you can see that today Africa lives between two twin disasters.
Well, away from that now on matters education, NARC Kenya leader Martha Karua has joined the growing number of leaders criticizing the new university education funding model, which she has termed as betrayal to the Kenyan students. According to Karua, the new funding model was a hindrance, preventing Kenyan students from accessing their right to education. Speaking during a press conference at the NARC Kenya party offices, Karua noted that the funding model shifts the burden of paying school fees to parents, which she says will deny thousands of youth equal opportunity to access education.
The right to education is being sacrificed at the altar of crony capitalism. You will remember that there is now a new method of funding education, and we believe it is deliberately designed to erode access to education. The introduction of the variable scholarship and loan funding model is nothing short of betrayal by people who enjoyed education funded by the state. It shifts the burden of education to the backs of students and their families, majority of whom can ill afford, violating the essence of Article 43 of the Constitution, which guarantees the right to education. This model, if implemented without meaningful public participation is not only unconstitutional but also discriminatory. It exacerbates the socio-economic inequalities that already plague our nation, denying countless young Kenyans the opportunity to better their lives through education.
Well, remember, the new university funding model still stands out as a major challenge that many do not really understand how it works. Remember also, the Chief Justice Martha Koome has just joined others in saying that there is need to review the entire funding model, proposing the need to merge bursaries given to both members of parliament and also MCS just to make education free. Well, what are some of your comments? Do get in touch with us through our socials at Hope TV Kenya. We shall be back in a couple of minutes taking a look on different issues that have been happening in the country.
Are you ready to go? Every day we ponder this question because every day we are going somewhere. How about if we went there as ambassadors? Please prepare to join us at Sitam Karen from the 3rd to 6th of September 2024 for the Send Me 2024 Mission Conference, as we seek God to empower us to go into the nations, into the marketplace, into the mission field, and into the ministry opportunities around us every day. Register for the Send Me 2024 Mission Conference at sitam.org.
I've actually been trying to find a balance. It's been really tough and hectic, but everyone says once you get a hang of it, it becomes better, and I don't know, but I'm hoping to find a balance soon because it's really been hectic. But you've been in the job industry for a long time, so I think you would know better. Cindy?
Huh? What time is it? I need to catch up on Leadership Forum. Do they have a radio here? Never mind. I brought my own.
No way. You can't be serious. Wait, why do you have a radio and you can just catch up with the shows on Hope FM podcasts?
Really? Even which of the what?
Yeah. I mean, you can find them on whatever platform, name it. AfriPods, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it.
But I'm not subscribed on any of them.
So no worries. You can just check out the latest episodes on hopemediakenya.org.
You can now listen to select Hope FM programs on your favorite podcast streaming platform or directly on our website www.hopemediakenya.org. Listen and live.
Get ready for another Rafiki Mso Church visit. Join us at Sitam Clay City on the 25th of August during the first service from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and the second service from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. It's Rafiki Mso Ground, an amazing opportunity to connect with your favorite presenters and be part of the Hope Media family. Don't miss out. Would you like Hope Media to visit your church next? Let us know. Reach out to us at customerexperience@hopefm.org. Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive.
Well, welcome back to the bulletin. Now, a lot more has been happening, especially in the entire sector of education. We also do understand that teachers are still maintaining that come Monday, they shall be going back to the streets just to continue mounting pressure to the government to ensure that the CBA agreement is brought to action, or rather implemented accordingly. Well, we're all waiting to see how the entire education sector will be handled now, considering that we do have a new cabinet secretary who just took over from the previous cabinet. Now, Likuyani Member of Parliament Innocent Mugabe has asked the government to consider using the Constituency Development Fund (NGCDF) to distribute resources for the construction of grade 9 classes. Mugabe argues that most schools do not have the classes to accommodate the current grade 8 learners set to transit to the next class come next year. Speaking during the assessment of the ongoing works for class construction in his sub-county, the MP said that with only months to go, The easiest way to complete the classes by January 2025 is have the money channeled through NGCDF. Now, he pointed out that the project for CBC classes that had been funded by the World Bank had previously been poorly executed.
Jambo kubwa ambalo tunafuatilia kwa sasa ni madarasa ya junior secondary school ambayo tunajua mwaka ujao watafika katika ile grade ya 9, na shule nyingi hazina madarasa ambao watoto wa grade ya 9 wataweza kusoma. Kwa hivyo sisi kama constituency tuliketi na tukaona ni muhimu sana tupee kipaumbele ujenzi wa madarasa ya JSS ili itakapofika Januari mwaka ujao au wanafunzi waweze kupata pahali pa kusomea. But what we also want to urge the Ministry of Education is to use the already established structures of CDF to put up classes. You remember there was a time that World Bank sponsored some classes, and the work that was done there was very shoddy. Very poor workmanship, very poor work was done. But when you look at projects, especially now done by CDF, because CDF has been there for quite a long time, it has proper structures for procurement and monitoring of workmanship. We want to urge the Ministry of Education, especially the school infrastructure funds, to channel these funds through our CDF kit.
Well, now moving to Embu County. Embu County government has come out to shed light on the puzzle of 7.9 million expired drugs at Embu Level 5 Hospital. The devolved unit came under fire following a report by the Auditor General on County Revenue Fund for the year ended 30th June this year that revealed the expiry of drugs among other financial malpractices. While exonerating the county from blame, County Finance and Economic Planning CEC Professor Joe Kamaria said that the drugs expired in 2022 before the current Governor Cecily Mbarire-led administration took over office. Speaking at the hospital during an inspection tour of the store, the county treasury had attributed the situation to the COVID-19 pandemic and the resultant lockdowns that hampered distribution and operations in all facilities across the county.
The drugs that the Auditor General mentioned all are drugs that related to the period 2022 backward. Some go back as far as 2012. Therefore, we can say that during the reign of Our Excellency the Governor, we do not have drugs that we have procured that have expired. But however, in terms of complying with the law in terms of disposal, in September last year, we did start the process of disposing those expired drugs, and I want to confirm that that process is ongoing and hopefully could be completed in the next 6 months. During COVID, the operations at all the facilities was quite low, and then when COVID hit, it also meant that we also had commodities in our stores, and therefore the sheer decline in the operations in the facilities also meant that there was low usage of the drugs that we had in store, and that also contributed to expiration of the drugs that we have in store.
Well, quite an interesting turn of events in Embu County. Drugs worth 7.9 million Kenya shillings expire just like that. Now, youth from Cheptais, Mount Elgon in Bungoma County have been asked to join technical and vocational education and training institutions, TVETs, to enable them acquire skills which will help secure employment. Speaking after a mentorship program in Chesikaki, Bunyala Technical College, Principal Emmanuel Omalwa indicated that the youth will only fight unemployment in the country by acquiring the necessary skills needed in the job market. Omalwa further noted that the government has set proper funding models for TVET students, which has reduced fee burden for the students.
Kwa sasa tumewekelea mkazo kwa upande wa TVET kwa sababu jinsi mnavyoelewa ni kwamba TVET sasa hivi ndio njia moja ambayo inasaidia wanafunzi kupata masomo ya juu, na sio tu masomo ya juu bali masomo ya kiufundi ambayo inaweza kuwasaidia wao kujimudu kimaisha. Waelewa ya kwamba hivi sasa wanafunzi wanaomaliza secondary schools ni wengi, na kwa sababu ya wingi wao universities zenye tuko nazo haziwezi kuchukua wanafunzi hao wote. Na pia
mimi nikiwa chief wa eneo hili nataka niombe vijana wengi ambao wako katika maboma, hasa wale wamefanya form 4 na hawana fees ama karo ya kulipia, ni kwamba chuo hiki cha anuai cha Bunyala kiko na nafasi ambazo zinaweza wasaidia wakapate elimu. Kulingana na mwalimu mkuu ambaye Bwana Emmanuel Wamalwa amesisitiza kwamba yeye.
Now, the East Africa Community and Regional Development Cabinet Secretary Beatrice Moye has praised the Great Africa Cycling Safaris for promoting cycling sports, tourism, and highlighting opportunities and challenges facing citizens of the East African community. Now, Moye was addressing 19 cyclists in her office who are participating in the 7th edition of the cycling event that kicked off on August 1st, 2024 in Bujumbura, Burundi, and snarled through Tanzania before entering Kenya at the Namanga border post in Kajiado County on August 7th, 2024. Beatrice noted that the annual event serves as a regional advocacy podium supporting the East Africa community integration process through awareness creation, cross-cultural interaction, environmentally responsible tourism, economic growth, gender and human capital, food security and safety and health in the region. Now, NCBA Group has posted a profit after tax of 9.8 billion Kenya shillings in its first half of 2024 financial results, which is a 5% increase compared to 9.4 billion Kenya shillings reported during a similar period in 2023. NCBA demonstrated strong financial fundamentals, recording positive operating income of 31 billion Kenya shillings and a decline in loan impairment charges of 38.3% year-on-year. Now, the banking subsidiaries, including investment banking, bancassurance and leasing, have bolstered its overall performance, contributing 0.6 billion Kenya shillings in profitability.
I think these are headwinds for us because when interests are high, I think people forget that we bank the economy, right? We bank businesses, we bank everybody. So when businesses are suffering, when businesses are going through pain, we are going through pain. It may not be immediate, but it's coming, which is why we're talking about NPLs and the outlook for non-performing loans. If interests are too high, we tend to obviously not get enough businesses borrowing. We tend to lend more to government, which is true, which is not good for the long-term sustainability of our business.
Well, the report from the NCBA Bank having made a profit in the first half of the year marks the end of tonight's bulletin. Many thanks for choosing Newswatch right here at Hope TV. My name is Sammy Adika, and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Morethi. Do have a wonderful night, and also let's meet tomorrow.